Good morning, everybody. Welcome to my channel. Just doing a little bit of a kind of update-ish thing. What's going on so far? Anyhow, um, so uh, I went in yesterday, as you can see right here, or right there. I went in yesterday and got a what's the name of it? Yeah, I just remembered the name of it. Now I can't remember the name of it. Um, a pork pudding. That's what it was. And what that is basically, it's just a little thing that goes right underneath the skin right there. And when they go in for my chemotherapy and stuff, they just take a little needle and they poke in and hook up to it, and it goes into one of my main what are they called? Blood veins, or what are they called? And but I got that put in yesterday, and then I have, or I don't remember if I showed it on the video before, if I had it at that time. But right here, that's what right here, I had a PICC line that went in right here, and it went up my arm and all the way up to where this um port is at right now, where the port goes into. That's where the PICC line went. Um, but I went in yesterday, had PICC line pulled out, had the port put in. It was it's actually pretty interesting. The worst part was just when they put the numbing, the local numbing medicine stuff into that area. That was probably the worst part. It has that sting and the burning. Other than that, it was just when they're putting in, I could feel the pressure of them putting it in and stuff. But that's about it. Um, and I actually asked the nurse on the way over to the operation room. I actually asked him, "So you're gonna knock me out? Nah, you're gonna be awake through the whole thing." So so I got to do that. They had me laying basically like this, and they had like a big blanket kind of thing with a hole that went right here, so they do the operation, but it was covering up where I couldn't see what they were doing on my chest. But but yeah, so I got to talk to the surgeon the whole time that that I was that they were doing it. And then afterwards, when they got done, took the big blanket thingy off, and they went and started pulling the PICC lines. I went, I watched them pull the PICC line out, and uh, I can see. It's hard for anyhow. So from where the thing was at, the PICC line reached almost all the way to my hand, the line. So I look up and I see them pulling this big line, this big hose thing out of my arm that goes all the way up to my hand. Like, oh, I guess it was pretty long going into my arm. But but yeah, so that was interesting yesterday. Um, I think I said on the last one, I don't remember when it was I did the last video, but I went in for my second round um the week before last week. I think it was, yeah. I don't remember. I don't remember if I think the video that I did last time was before that. Anyhow, um but yeah, I went in. I'm on my, so far, my second round of chemo. Um so far I haven't really had much side effects from it, from what I can tell. Um had a little more nausea this time around, but at the same time, so I went to the doctor's office over here, closer to us, instead of the one farther, or the Stanford. I went to the kind of thing. I'm getting the same treatment because um the person that was in charge of my treatment over at Stanford is looking over the what I'm getting here, so it's exactly the same treatment and everything with the same uh drug or not drugs, the same whatever chemo. Anyhow, so we're doing that so far this last round, but the only thing I really had was a little more nausea because over here they didn't put me on as many medications as what they did at Stanford. So we're thinking that might be the case why I had a little more nausea and stuff afterwards. Is over at Stanford they put me on a little bit more. I was happy on that one. um, but so but yeah, so far second round I have, or I'm on my second round out of I have 6 rounds I have to do, so I have uh, about four more rounds of chemo to do, and then after that, the person over at Stanford talking, if after this whole thing, if there's still like cancer going around or anything, um, we're gonna be doing another treatment. I don't remember exactly what the name of it is. Um, they did take a piece of my like a sample of my, or the when guys did the biopsy on my leg, the sample that went to Stanford, and they're actually using that to look into, it's the CAR T cell treatment. They're testing it, seeing if they can figure out a way to use that. And then but then there's another treatment that they have. It's some other thing, I don't remember exactly the name of it. But anyhow, it takes a little bit longer to work. So what they're wanting to do is get me going on this chemotherapy, get this fella right here shrunk down as much as we can, and it has shrunk down quite a bit. I'm able to, before I was barely able to eat stuff like even like donut holes. I went over to the coffee shop, and it was over just before I went in for the started going in for the chemo. Um, and I'd take the donut holes and smash them down like a pancake just to eat them. Um, but I was able to drink coffee still, so that was a good thing. But but yeah, so I but now since I've done the chemo and stuff, it's this has shrunk down quite a bit, and I'm able to eat. Well, I haven't ate. Well, yeah, I have eaten some donut holes, and it's a little bit easier to do that. But now I'm able to like eat apples and bananas and everything else a lot easier than I was able to before. Um, but but yeah, so but it's just to for the chemo right now. It's mainly just to get the like this guy shrunk down and get it get the cancer slowed down. Is pretty much the main priority for it. Yeah, I drink some coffee. Um, but it has been so far working on shrinking the stuff down. There's a thing that they've been testing. I don't remember what it was exactly. I'd I'd like to give you guys all the terms and stuff like that of all the stuff, but all these medical terms and stuff, I can never remember the darn things. Um, it's just all over the board. Um, but the but whatever it is, it basically tells you like the destruction of the bone is what it's testing or like showing kind of thing. And because of this thing, and because of the cancer I have is a bone cancer, and basically deteriorates the bones and stuff like that. Um, but so when I first went to Stanford, it was right at the beginning of this whole thing. Suppose I don't remember exactly, but it's the bone thing. Supposedly, it's only supposed to be. I'm guessing in 100. I don't remember exactly, but like low hundreds, maybe even lower than that. I don't remember. I don't really know exactly where it's supposed to be. But when we first got in, when they did the first test, it was like 3,000. It was where the bone destruction was at. And then after they started doing the treatments and stuff, at the end, I think it was or wherever they did the next round of tests for they do it through the blood. They just pull the blood. A lot of blood pulled out of me. I've been feeding the vampires over at the doctor's quite a bit lately. Um, but then afterwards, it came after, I think just after the started doing the chemotherapy or got done with, it's either after we started or after we got done with the chemotherapy. I don't remember exactly what time, which area it was, but it came down like from, I think it was 3,000 if I remember right. It was probably 2,000, 3,000 area, and it brought it down like almost 800 points on it or something like that, quite a bit. And then I went, and then when I went in for the thing over here, over at the Kaiser area, when I went in and did that, they didn't test at first, but we requested them to test it at the end of it, and it is all the way down to, well, at least when we tested it, so that would have been a little over a week ago. Um, it was all the way down to, I think it was like 700. So it's gone within the 3 weeks. It's gone from whatever it was 2,000 something to 3,000 area, all the way down to 700, um, and stuff like that. Uh, when I was doing at first, or before that, the medications I was taking them almost every like 4 hours. Now well, actually, right now I'm only taking it in the evening time. That's pretty much it. And then and then, and then like if I have any residual, I'll take like some ibuprofen during the day or something like that. But, and then I'm on, uh, what's the name? Some kind of steroids. It helps with the inflammation. So that is also one of the reasons why this doesn't hurt as much, because if I don't do it for a day, this gets all flared up and starts being a little stubborn. Um, but and so far it's been going pretty good. So far, only side effects is you can see the boldness right there, and having a little nausea. That's pretty much it right now. My my youngest nephew likes having my hair how it is. I have little spikes up there right now. We didn't completely shave it. We just trimmed it off or cut it off. But my mom was in the house holding my youngest nephew. She had him run his hand over my head, and he was just cracking up, laughing because the little spikes was tickling his hands and stuff. Um, but yeah, thinking about it. So, um, here pretty soon, not to look at what day it was, but here pretty soon it'll be 1 year that I've had, it'll be 1 year that I've had my amputation, and then a week after that will be my nephew's 1 year birthday. So yeah, so it'll be interesting. It's been interesting having an amputee, I tell you that. Um, first time, uh, a couple days ago, or for the first time a couple days ago, I had someone actually ask me if I lost it overseas. Which I told them, nah, had lost from having cancer, but it was the first time having that question asked to me by somebody. But and then yeah, it's been pretty interesting. I can tell you that it's been a lot of fun too. At some points, so far, the main funniest parts is the when I was driving the vehicle, and then and my foot falling off the throttle, and then the funniest part was it was at the beginning of the whole thing when my nephews came. They knew that I had a leg. I'm gonna be getting a leg somehow. They didn't know how exactly how or when I was gonna get the leg, or they call it my robot leg. Um, but I think it was Amazon or UPS came, and they come running in with this big package, and they come in like, Uncle Juju, your your robot leg is here. And but yeah, I think that was the funniest thing so far was them doing that. Um, Nothing else so far than that on those. Um, but it's been a lot of fun. It's still a little interesting. Like talking to people on it. It's like and saying like, oh yeah, let me get my leg on. I'll be out in a second, or and stuff like that. Still kind of weird. Um, and like I said in the last video, I met another amputee not too long ago. Uh, I um I showed her the lineup of my. I only have four legs here, or the sockets. I showed her a picture of that, and she has a whole lineup for all the years that she's been amputating. Like, oh, you got a little ways to catch up on that one. Yeah, I guess so. I guess I do. but but even like talking to another amputee, like thinking, like asking or talking about it, it's like still a little interesting. Like I know for the fact for someone like that that's been an amputee for a lot longer, it's not as strange. But I'm like I said, it's only been a year for me, and it's like it's still like, okay, is that something I should ask, or is it not? and I and with me, I overthink things all the time. Um, but it's really interesting, and it's been a lot of fun. Um, uh, and then but yeah, so far that's pretty much everything that's been going on. Just getting port put in, got PICC line out of my arm. And the biggest reason for that is that the PICC line, we were having to clean it every day. Me and my mom were flushing it every day and stuff, and it has a higher chance of getting a really bad infection and stuff if something like gets to the hole where the line was getting into. And this right here, it's underneath the skin. I had to give it a couple days to heal up and everything like that. But but it's a lot safer as in infection wise. And then yeah, it's getting close to October. Uh, Well, we're not getting close to October. We're in October. I don't know why I'm saying that. Um, but with being that, it's actually been getting pretty chilly around here. I actually had the heater on in my room for the first time this year. I had a little cranked up a little too much last night. Got a little warm, but anyhow, turned it down a little bit this morning, and you just have to get adjusted the right temperature on the thermostat. Right now, it is actually 4:33 a.m. I'm waking up early. Habit. Um, but we're gonna be working on here in the garage. I gotta work on cleaning it all out because we're gonna be putting up sheetrock and stuff and insulation, and then put a wood stove in here. for when it gets really cold. And so when I'm here doing this, I'm not gonna be freezing. It's not that cold right now in here, but I know later on it'll definitely get cold, get pretty cold. But yep, so that's pretty much everything that's going on. Hope you guys are doing well. Um, and hope you guys have a nice day, and I'll see you guys on the next video.